This is George Gillis with tip number 5 of 12 mindset tips for improved performance. Everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have available. This is probably something that you've said to others. Others may have even said it to you. Hey, you did the best you can with what you had available. And the idea here is that behavior is geared for adaptation, and the present behavior is the best choice that's available. The other presupposition in this concept is that every behavior is motivated by positive intent. Behavior is geared for adaptation, and present behavior is the best choice available. Every behavior is motivated by positive intent, and once you adopt this thinking, you'll find it easier to forgive people for some of the things they say or do. Now, let's keep it real. Mass murderers, terrorists, test this thinking to the limit, and we're not going to get into a geopolitical discourse here or a sociological, psychological analysis. The majority of people hearing this, myself included, are not dealing with sociopaths or psychopaths. We're dealing with regular old folks, prospects, clients, and people just like you and me. So just for a moment, stop and think about situations you've been in when you made a decision that wasn't the best choice in retrospect. If you believe now that you did the best you could with the resources you had, doesn't that just take some of the pressure off? Have you ever beat yourself up over decisions or actions from your past? Have you gotten caught up in the should have, could have, would have thinking? You know, we used to call it shoulda, coulda, woulda. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. How do you feel after a trip down that path? It's typically not real positive, is it? So one of the questions you can ask yourself to change this, when you see someone doing something that just seems out of sorts, is I wonder how they do that. Not I wonder why they're doing that, but I wonder how they're doing that. How questions the strategies they use and doesn't judge the person. Remember, question the behavior, not the person. Maybe you're starting to see a trend here. When we start thinking about others' behaviors, we often get stuck in why are they doing that? What are they thinking? Why is this happening? And oftentimes these types of questions lead to judgments about the person. And you're now triggering internal filters to create a model based on your stuff. Go back to tip number 4 and the slide that shows that internal processes take place that create a behavior. So rather than stimulating old patterns, ask a new question. How do they do that? How? This puts you in a state of curiosity, and curiosity is a receptive, open, and non-judgmental state to be in. There's also an outstanding question to ask yourself when you find yourself going down the wrong path or some thinking that you don't want. A way to interrupt the pattern of shoulda, coulda, woulda. How do I do this? How do I do this? So consider a problem or a challenge you're facing now, and think about other situations similar to this one where you overcame or found solutions. Can you identify the resources you can tap into now? How did you solve the problem then? How did you evaluate what resources you needed to find then? How did you decide on a path? How did you take action? What were the strategies and steps that you implemented to solve the problem then that you can bring forward to the situation today? In a sales situation, realize that people will not make new decisions unless you can provide them with new resources, new information about how you and your service or product can provide them with new solutions that they need now. Remember Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting different results. So as a sales pro, your job is to offer new solutions. Keep in mind though, your prospect may be stuck in that old shoulda, coulda, woulda, regretful thinking cycle. So how can you break that for them? And how can you separate yourself and stand out from the other salespeople who want your prospects' money? Do you ask your prospects about how they made past decisions? Do you ask them about what resources were available then? Do you ask them, did they need to include others then? Did they need additional research? Did they need a trial period or a hands-on demonstration? If you did the exercise on the last slide, you'll appreciate the power of this questioning. You see, you've solved problems before, and now with your guidance, you will help them solve their current problem. You're asking a question out of probing curiosity and helping your prospect remember that they too are successful problem solvers. And in the process, they'll tell you what you need to help them with to win the account. And in the process, you sound, look, and act differently than 99% of all the other salespeople that they've met. Curiosity is the state that opens up the door for you and for them. So as always, learn more about NLP, communication, sales, and much, much more at georgegillis.com. Contact me at george@georgegillis.com or 602-527-0142. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you on the next one.